Hello everyone, my name is Itamar Ben David. I'm a tour guide here in Jerusalem, Israel, and we will continue our journey with the book of Genesis, the weekly Parasha, the part that Jews read every Saturday, a few chapters every time. And this time we're going to talk a lot about Abraham and his massive journey. So as always, we're going to use Google Earth, and I will thank Google Earth and all the people that bother to take so many photospheres all over the world. This is really what helps us in learning about the Bible so well. So this Google project, as you can see, it's extremely complicated. Unlike the previous two parashas that were pretty limited, this time I think it's going to be an exceptionally longer one, simply because my old man Abraham, was walking all over the place for decades. So these few chapters, Genesis 12 to 17, are very busy with geographical locations and movements and journeys from one place to the next. Stay tuned with me. I promise it's going to be fascinating. You're going to see the land of Israel like you've never seen. So I think you'll find that fascinating. Okay, so without further ado, we are going now from Israel. Okay, here is Israel, just over here next to the Mediterranean. You can actually see the Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea. We'll get back to it later. We're going to start our journey of Lekh, Lekha, the call of Abraham, in Mesopotamia. So in Mesopotamia, we talked already about Babylon, the Tower of Babel, in the last parasha. So where is Babylon? A little bit southern of Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. This is where Babylon. And over there is a place called the Ziggurat of Etemenanki. I hope I say it right. Okay, not my language. And over there is a building, a massive building called the Ziggurat. Okay, it's not the only place, but the Ziggurats are one of those Babylonian Bronze Age temples. That's how it looks like. Okay, this is how it looks like since the 19th century. They were discovered by different archaeologists, European archaeologists. And this is like a portal or a gate to the gods, yeah? So maybe the Tower of Babel was something like that. Who knows, yeah? There is a Jewish tradition that says that one of the people that built the Tower of Babel was actually Abram. Abram was involved in building the Tower of Babel until he noticed something very strange in the people of Babylon. He noticed that they care more about bricks falling off from the top of the tower. They're weeping and crying for every brick that falls down. And when a person is falling down from, I don't know, the scaffolding or something like that, they don't care about that at all. So they weep and cry for bricks, but they don't care about humans. At that point, he understood that this enterprise of uniting mankind after the great flood and building this city and a tower in its midst is a project of dehumanization. Okay, people don't care about each other anymore. They only care about the goal or the state or the city. Yeah, and because of that, they are missing the image of God. Okay, they are completely forgetting about the image of God. As we know, the story goes that God is scattering all of the people and give them different languages. This is the beginning of the broken identity of Adam, okay, into 70 nations, okay. So now God is sending Abraham away from Ur Kasdim or from Babylon, from this region of Mesopotamia. This journey starts with his father Terach, and later Abraham will continue that journey. They are going away from this region to Haran. They're starting their journey to the land of Israel, to the land of the Hebrews, basically. And their next stop will be Haran. So, as far as the father of Abraham concerned, Terach, he is going back home to the land of the Hebrews, where his ancestor Ever, 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 was born. Somehow the family ended up in Mesopotamia. We know that one of his children died, and there are all kinds of legends around that, why Haran died. And now Terach is on his way to the land of the Hebrews, but for some reason his journey stops at Haran. Okay, Haran is in Turkey today. Here you can see that. Let's move. Yeah, here it's in Turkey, as you can see. And for some reason, he stops the journey over here. It doesn't continue further to the land of the Hebrews or the land of Canaan. He stops here with one of his sons, Nahor. So Abraham will continue that journey. We'll pick it up from there. But before we move on to Israel, okay, or to the land of Canaan, what is this place, Haran? Take a look how fertile this valley is. It's really amazing, yeah? Take a look how many fields. So Haran is a very ancient city, of course, and we're going to see what happens over there. So in the book of Genesis, it says the Lord had said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Okay, so there's some amazing promise to Abraham if he continues that journey. Okay, so just before Abraham continues the journey, let's just figure out, okay, where is he? Okay, so this is the hill where ancient Haran was, a very ancient city, thousands of years, early Bronze Age. So this is the hill where it was built, and today there is archaeological site. Most of what we see is medieval and Byzantine. So this is not super ancient what you see here. Mosques from, if I'm aware, if I understood correctly, it's from the Mamluk period, so about 700 years ago, not that old. Okay, and that's how it looks like. This is where Abraham lived for quite a few decades. Okay, and in Haran today, there is some interesting attraction. You can see these beehive houses. Okay, take a look at this. And this is very unique architecture that existed in Haran for thousands of years. And these are not super ancient, yeah, but this is the architecture, this is the style. So maybe even Abraham lived in one of those, who knows, while he was in Haran. Let's get into one of those little beehive houses. I found this nice photosphere that shows how it looks like inside. Here's the little dome. Yeah, so maybe Abraham lived in some small hut just like that. Small house and small bed, I guess. Nice. That's how it looks like. Okay, this is the attraction over there. So from Haran, Abraham starts his journey, a very long journey, and let's take a look how the journey goes. He goes from Haran probably to the Orontes El Asi River. Okay, he goes through a few major cities, probably like Aleppo in Halab, in Syria, sorry, Halab or Aleppo. This is this place. Then he continues on the Orontes towards Hama area, Homs and Damascus. Okay, he goes just crosses, basically crosses Syria. And we are told that he entered to Israel through Nablus. Okay, so it's very likely that this is the way he took. Okay, we get more details about this road with the journey of Jacob back to the land. So very likely that Abraham walked exactly the same way. So I mentioned all these Syrian cities, including Dara. Then he entered to what today is Jordan, Ramtha, Jarish, and in Jarish he enters to Wadi Zarka, Yabok River or Jabok River in the Bible, that takes him down to the Jordan Valley. So here's the Jordan Valley, and today there is a little Jordanian town called Damia, and next to it there is a bridge. It's not operative anymore, like today you can't really cross over there. The bridge is still there, but you can't really cross over there. It's not an official crossing point. And over here, Abraham will enter the land of Israel to Nablus, okay, through the Jabok passage or Yabok passage through the valley of Tirza. Okay, so Haran, all the way through Syria and Jordan. Now he's entering the land of Israel, the land of Canaan at that time. So let's take a look. Our purpose again is to understand the geography and how the view looks like in these sites. So these are the mountains of Transjordan. the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan. Abraham is coming from approximately these hills over here, these mountains, crossing the Jordan, which is not that mighty, by the way. And this is the modern road, Road 90, that goes through the Israeli Jordan Valley. So if you go south, you go to Jericho and Jerusalem. If you go north, you go to Tiberias and up north to the Galilee. And Abraham is taking this turn towards Nablus in the valley of Tirzah. Let's take a look from another angle. Okay, again, the mountains of Jordan. The Jordan Valley is right over here. And now Abraham is entering to the valley of Tirzah. It's called in Arabic Baldan. Okay, this is it. You see there's a lot, it's a very fertile area. You can see all the greenhouses, and he's now going up to Nablus. So let's move on to Nablus, our next stop. Abram is going to build a few altars in the Holy Land. The first one will be in Nablus, so let's just enter. Here we go, through the valley of Tirzah. The picture was taken above Mount Ebal, okay, which is just north of Nablus. And this is the city of Nablus, stuck between two mountains, Mount Gerizim to the south and Mount Ebal to the north. From this angle, I'm just going to throw you a little teaser. This photosphere was taken just above the ancient altar of the 12th century BC approximately, that we think was built by Joshua. Maybe the altar that Abraham was building, this pile of stone, yeah, this is an altar. The altar that Abraham was building was probably much smaller, but anyway, just throwing you a little teaser. If you'll stick around and view this channel, I hope to get and talk about this altar in great detail. Okay, so now Abraham is in Nablus. So what is Nablus? Today it's a Palestinian city in the West Bank. Here is Nablus as a whole. You can see there are two mountains. It's just stuck between two mountains. Mount Ebal to the north and Mount Gerizim to the south. The Mount of the Blessing is known as Mount Gerizim. The Mount of the Curse is Mount Ebal. And right here at the bottom, I circled it in yellow. This is Tel Balata. Tel Balata, the hill of Balata, ancient Nablus basically. This is it. I didn't find any photosphere, so thanks to these two gentlemen, Avishai and Tariki, I guess, we have these beautiful pictures that shows us the place. Okay, so this is the hill of ancient Nablus, ancient Shechem, as we say in Hebrew, and we actually found ancient walls and Canaanite walls and tools and cisterns and ceramics, etc. So this is what you see over there when you visit it. Again, it's in the Palestinian territories, in Samaria, in the West Bank. Cool. So Abraham was there for a little while, building an altar, worshiping God, and let's see what's next. So Abraham will continue quite fast in the chapters, south in Judea and Samaria today, what Judea and Samaria, the way we call it today. You can see the road. Okay, this is actually ancient road. Today it's a modern highway or modern road, Road 60, but this is actually the same location of the ancient roads. You can see it right here. And his next stop after Nablus, okay, he's entering from the Jordan Valley. Now he visited Nablus, and his next stop will be Bethel. Or to be more accurate, between Bethel and the Ai. Okay, between these two cities, one is called Bethel, the other one is called Ai. So there is some ruins of a biblical city or town, and we consider this hill as the ancient Ai. Okay, Ai, it's actually mentioned in the Bible. And where is Bethel? So today there is a Jewish town called Beit El. Okay, Beit El is named, of course, after Bethel. Okay, this is modern, of course, from the 1970s, I think. But next to it, there is a Palestinian village called Beitin, which kind of preserved the name Bethel. Okay, Beitel. So we think that approximately here, this is where ancient Bethel was. And Abram's camp was between Ai and Bethel. Okay, so this is just a wild guess that approximately in the middle, this is where Abram's camp used to be. Okay, not 100% of course. So just get to it. Ancient Shem. What's happening? Sorry about that. Yeah, Abram's camp. Let me just pay a short visit before we move on. Okay, just so you'll see how the fields look like. So this is, approximately where Abram's camp used to be. I found the little photosphere over there. Maybe some olive trees, why not? And this is the area. Okay, so Abram will continue his journey to the Negev and all the way to Egypt. So let's take a look. We talked about Ai. Let's move on to Luxor, Egypt. So as you can see, the road goes, okay, Highway 60 all the way to Beersheba. And I'm kind of following the text over here. It's pretty fast. It's just saying that Abram went to Negba because of the famine that was going on. He continued to Egypt. Okay, so from Beersheba, very likely he went to Rafah, north of Sinai, walking along the coast all the way to the delta of the Nile. So in here, like in Egypt, we have a story that says that Abraham was afraid for his life. He didn't want to be killed. So he told Sarah, or Sarai at the time, he told her, tell everyone that you are my sister and not my wife, otherwise they will kill me. So this is what they did, and sure enough, Sarai, as a beautiful woman, is taken to the pharaohs. Where were the pharaohs at that time? So if we agree to the assumption that Ramses II from the 13th century BC was the king of Egypt at the time of the Exodus, and if we agree that the enslavement of the children of Israel, the children of Abraham, were for anywhere between 200 and 430 years, okay? So that takes us back to the days of the 17th or the 18th dynasty of the pharaohs, and at that time they are in Thebes, near Luxor. This is approximately where these pharaohs used to be. So maybe Sarai and Abram ended up all the way here for at least a little while. Sarai was taken to the palace of Pharaoh for a certain amount of time until God revealed himself and told him, this is a married woman, you better get her back. He also got a few plagues. If it sounds familiar that Abram, a Hebrew person, goes down to Egypt, forced, to give up some of his family, and later being enriched by the Egyptians. Okay, this will be happening later in the book of Exodus. Okay, so Abraham, as I said, was afraid for his life, gave Sarai as a wife to the pharaohs, and ultimately he get her back with a lot of treasures from the pharaohs. Now he's going back to the land of Israel. Okay, so let's see what happens next. It says, the verse in the Bible says that he went back to near Ai and Bethel, okay, to that little camp that I showed you. Okay, he comes back over here to the place where he began his journey, and just like in Nablus, he had an altar somewhere around here. Okay, we don't know exactly where, so this is the little place that I showed you earlier. Okay, so Abram has now two altars, one in Nablus, one in Bethel. So far, so good. At this point, God is promising Abraham to not only be wealthy, to inherit the land, and he takes him to some high mountain, shows him the land, and tells him that this land will be his. So let's read these verses. The Lord said to Abram after Lot has parted from him, look around from where you are to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see, I will give you and your offspring forever. Okay, So the nearest place, the nearest mountain, high mountain near Abram's camp is this today military base, Baal Hatzor. So this is maybe the location of where this promise was given. So if we just look around, you can see all the way to the coast, cities like Gaza and Ashkelon and Ashdod on the coast, Rishon LeZion, Tel Aviv, yeah, all the way to this side, all the way to the north, okay, Mount Hermon, we'll get to it later, and the Jordan Valley. So after Lot parted from Abram, they were very wealthy. They had lots of cattle and sheep and goats, an amazing flock. Their shepherds start to argue between them, and Abram is a very generous person. He says, wherever you want to go, I'll go to the opposite side. And Lot, his nephew, at that point, he looks around and he sees the Jordan Valley and the Jordan River, and he says, wow, this is a beautiful place. I want to go over there. So he goes down to the valley, and Abram is staying on the mountains, okay, which are, lesser of a quality in terms of, what the sheep and goats needs. But anyway, Abram is very generous, as we know. Okay. So our next part of the story takes us down to Hebron, Elonei Mamre. Okay, so let's go back a little bit to get the bigger picture. Lot is in the Jordan Valley, in this area. Abraham is now going from his camp in Bethel. He's going further south. He just walks by Jerusalem, doesn't know anything about it at this point. Okay, he goes further south, and now he's in Elonei Mamre. That's how it's called. Today, the city of Hebron is a Palestinian city again in the West Bank. It's a Palestinian territory over there. There is a site that is called Elonei Mamre. That's the location of that site in the northern part of Hebron. And that's how it looks like. So thanks to Danielle, we actually have this picture. This is how the site looks like. There's only one problem. It's a bit too far from ancient Hebron, and most of the antiquities over there are dated to the last 1800 years, okay? So 2nd century approximately onwards, okay? Meaning it doesn't date back to the days of Abraham, which is 3,600 years ago. So where was Abraham? Okay, Elonei Mamre today, again, this is the site, but if we're trying to follow Abraham, we have to go to a bit southern in Hebron to the ancient hill of Hebron. So I created a little circle here in yellow. This is where ancient Hebron was, okay? The hill of Hebron, in Arabic it's called Tel Omeida. The Jews call it in Hebrew Tel Hebron, the city of Hebron. And as you can see, it's not that far from the cave of the patriarch, which we'll get to a little later, okay? Not this time. So this is the hill of Hebron, and guess what? Guess what they found over there? So they found ancient ritual baths, okay? This is dated back probably 2,000 years ago, maybe a little more than that. 2,000, maybe 2,100. Look at the shape, beautiful stairways into a basin full of water. It's for purification. So 2,100 years, that sounds ancient enough, okay? But we're still interested in the days of Abraham. So we have to go further to more ancient part of this tale. And voila, take a look what we have here. The Bronze Age walls of ancient Hebron. Okay, so this is really, really ancient. This is early Bronze Age. That's really where Hebron used to be, and this is where the city of Abraham used to be. Okay, so Abraham is on that hill, and on this hill he will live, and later will be buried. So let's stay with that. Okay, we have we know that they were parted, Lot and Abraham, and in Hebron, just like in the other places, in Nablus and later in Bethel, Abram has now a third altar now in Hebron. Okay, so what's happening next? The next story is the war or the battle of Siddim, okay, near the Dead Sea. 4 kings from Mesopotamia, okay, coming from Iraq and Syria, okay, attacked 5 kings in the area of the Jordan Valley, okay, this area. see the Dead Sea and the Jordan Valley over here. This is approximately where this war took place. And they defeated them, the 4 kings of Mesopotamia, very strong. They defeated these 5 kings, and they take their spoil of war and prisoners. And one of them is the nephew of Abraham, Lot. Lot is also taken as he was captured. Okay, so Abraham hears about that. A refugee tells him what happened, and Abraham will start a war against these 4 kings. Okay, he will bring his soldiers and he will pursue these 4 kings from Mesopotamia. So before we see where he pursued them, this is the Dead Sea area. You can see, of course, the Dead Sea. You can see the beautiful cliffs of the Judean desert. Here is the Jordan Valley on the palm trees that we have over there. The beach, yeah, if you want to visit. And take a look. So maybe after Sodom and Gomorrah's destruction, this place doesn't look as nice, but at least today that's how it looks like. Maybe in the past it was more appealing. Anyway, Lot was not stupid. He knew why he chose these lands. So this is, again, the northern part of the Dead Sea. That's how it looks like. So approximately here, this is like the scenery of that area where the battles took place. And from there, Abraham is starting to pursue these five kings all the way to Dan, all the way to ancient Dan. Dan is in the north of Israel. The Tel Dan, ancient Dan, is in the north of Israel. You can see the Hermon mountain just over here in the back. And what do we have left? So today there is a national park, of course, over there, and interesting archaeological excavations, including the Bronze Age gates of Dan. So good chance that this is the gate that Abraham himself saw. So you can actually see the ancient stairs going up to the gate. The gate was filled with dirt simply because of the destruction that took place over time. And you can actually see the beautiful arch. See the arch just over here of ancient Dan and the towers made of mud bricks. Fascinating. So it says that at this point, Abram was a bit tired and his servants continued the war. One of them is Eliezer, his loyal servant, that continued the pursuit all the way to, this is Tel Dan. You can see it's a big park, okay? And from here, Eliezer continued his pursuit to Damascus, okay? Damascus, which is over here. Here's Damascus. Okay, after the successful raid of Abraham, we don't think of Abraham as a warrior usually, but after this successful raid, him and his partners, they got all the people, they got the spoil of war that was taken, and they go up to Jerusalem. Okay, in the Bible it doesn't say Jerusalem, it says they went up to the valley of Shaveh, where they met up with Melchizedek. So Melchizedek was a priest and the king of Jerusalem, and in the valley of Shaveh they meet up. So this is, of course, the Temple Mount, okay, and Melchizedek is the priest over here in Salem, and just next to it there is a nice point where we can see, here's the Temple Mount again, and this is the Kidron Valley, or also the Valley of Shaveh. So from the Temple Mount, we have this dramatic slope that goes down to the Valley of Kidron, or Valley of Shaveh, and on the other side you can see the Mount of Olives. This is the cemetery on the Mount of Olives. So where exactly Abraham and Melchizedek met up, I don't know. Could be near this bus, could be over here, could be further down a little bit, somewhere around here. This is where they met up. So just in the geographical context, Kidron Valley goes from Jerusalem all the way to the Dead Sea. So if Abraham is walking up to Jerusalem, it's likely that he was walking on one of the banks of the Kidron Valley all the way up. It's not an easy hike. Yeah, it's actually very difficult, but somewhere like that. This is how he ended up in Jerusalem. and gave the tithe to this famous priest and king of Salem, Melchizedek. Okay, good. Abram is being blessed by Melchizedek, and now we see that Abraham is a little bit disappointed and maybe, sad even, I would say. Why Abraham is sad? Abraham is sad because he doesn't have any children. And he tells Abraham, okay, you see that I'm walking alone in the world. I don't have any children. Who's going to inherit me? My loyal servant Eliezer? It's not okay. And God takes him to a certain place that is not specified in the Bible. It could be in Hebron or it could be on this mountain. Earlier I showed you Dan, and this is the mountain just above Dan, Mount Hermon, a very amazing, beautiful mountain, the highest mountain in Israel. Its highest peak is actually in Syria, a little more than 2 kilometers. So this is the beautiful mountain of Hermon, Hermon in Hebrew. And what is the meaning of the name Hermon? Is the root of it is Cherem, which means sacred or holy place. Maybe you know the English word haram, which is coming from Arabic haram, which is where the women are kept for the sultan. So just like the women are sacred or just designated only to that sultan, harem, the same thing in Hebrew, means sacred, something that is designated only to someone special like God. So Mount Hermon is the place that is sacred. Okay, so now potentially this is where Abraham was taken by God. Maybe he did it before even, and there are a few Jewish traditions that says that he got this covenant that I'm going to explain now, even before his journey in the land of Israel. Some suggested that it happened during the battle. So after the battle, they take the spoil of war near Damascus. Now, okay, while I'm here, let's go up to this mountain and worship. And maybe then it happened. I don't know. I'm just saying that these are the traditions, and we have a place in Mount Hermon where we think the covenant of the pieces happened. So let's go to the western side of Mount Hermon. So in this area somewhere, I'm going to show you approximately where. This is where a tradition points out that this event happened. Okay, this is Mount Hermon, and let's read. Abram brought all these to him. Okay, he's bringing these pieces in two and arranged the halves opposite each other. The birds, however, he did not cut in half. The birds of prey came down and on the carcasses, but Abram drove them away. Okay, so now we see that Abraham is cutting animals. One cow, one goat, and one deer. And let's see what happened. So when Abraham is on the Hermon mountain, he gets this vision. God is telling him, you will be blessed and this land will be yours, from the rivers of Mesopotamia, from the Prat all the way to the river of Egypt, not necessarily the Nile, but one of the rivers in Sinai probably. You will inherit this land. So this is also a nice indication that maybe from the Hermon mountain, which is a higher mountain, you can see both ends. Then God is telling him that his people will be enslaved. His descendants will be enslaved, but after a while they will be redeemed and saved. So this is the covenant of the pieces. These pieces of animals, again, cow, deer, goat, and the birds are set free. Okay, where is the traditional location of that? So we have a place over here. We have a place over here in the Hermon mountain where we think it happened. So if you look carefully, you'll see it's in the western side of the Hermon mountain. We actually have a place that in the last few years, Jews are going up there, and it's called Makam Ibrahim, the tomb of Abraham. Not really Abraham himself, of course, but a place that commemorates him, or in Arabic, Mashhad Eter. Mashhad Eter meaning the viewpoint of the birds. Okay, the viewpoint of the birds. So this is really impressive. not just because it's so high, but also it commemorates these birds. These birds maybe Abraham released, who knows? Okay, so now that we have this covenant, the story goes that Hagar, the maidservant of Sarah, is very upset with Sarah. Okay, why? Because as soon as she got pregnant, as Hagar got pregnant, she started to boast against her master Sarai. Now Sarai is torturing her, and Hagar is deciding to leave. Hagar is originally Egyptian lady, and the Jewish tradition, the rabbinic tradition, says that not only that she is Egyptian, she was also the daughter of Pharaoh. She was a princess, okay? And now she's being tortured by some Hebrew lady? No way. She is walking away on Shur Road. Shur Road is from Beersheba area to Kadesh and to a place called El Kuseima in Egypt, in Sinai, all the way to Ismailia, which is in the eastern side of the delta. This is where it is, okay? So this is the ancient Shur Road, and basically Hagar, this Egyptian princess, if we agree to the rabbinic tradition, is running away. Hagar is running away. But an angel appeared to her and tell her, no, go back to your master, to Sarai, and be tortured by her, and don't worry, your child will be blessed. Okay, Ishmael will be blessed. Interestingly enough, the end of Shur Road is called Ismailia, which is Ishmael in Arabic. Okay, so now Hagar is going back, and she's upset maybe, but she's still back. When Ishmael was born, Abram is 86 years old. 86 years old. And the next few verses will tell him, hey, you think you're a young dad? No, don't worry. You're going to be a father soon from your beloved wife, from your leading wife, Sarah. At the age of 99, he is getting this message that he will have a son from Sarah, and his name will be Yitzhak. Okay, Yitzhak or Isaac. Again, God will promise to him to inherit the land, and he's asking him to perform the circumcision. So all of that is happening somewhere on this area. Okay, we don't really know. Abram's camp, because he's a shepherd, is divided, and it's very likely that some of the camp is in Hebron and Beersheba, some of the camp is grazing in deeper in the desert or in the land of Grar, near Rafah and Gaza. Okay, somewhere around here this is taking place. We don't really know for sure where is the location of where it happened, but it happens around here. Now, as he's being told by God at a very late age that his wife Sarah, at the age of 90, and later him at the age of almost 100, they're going to bear a son, he's a little upset. Abraham is asking, and what about Ishmael? What about him? Yeah, maybe Abraham has his own idea of how to bring about the message of God to the world. That's why he's being told to leave Haran. Haran, it's like an international commerce center at the time. He has a lot of traffic. He can speak to a lot of people. Maybe over there he can deliver the message of God. Maybe through Egypt, and maybe through that Egyptian princess, he can deliver the message of God. But no. God has a different plan. God wants him to continue the nation of the Hebrews, and through Isaac he will bless him. So Abram becomes Abraham. He has an additional H now, and Sarai now become Sarah, again with the H. H is one of the letters that represents God in the Hebrew language. And now they are being extra blessed. They're going to have a child soon, very late age. This child will be Isaac, and the rest will be on the next time. So I hope you enjoyed that. Try to have some geographical context to the Bible, to the scriptures. And if you're not familiar with the concept of the Jewish Parasha, it's just what Jews read on Shabbat in the synagogue, a few chapters every time, and we finished the entire cycle of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, through the entire year. So this is the third parasha of this new year, and follow me for the next time. See you soon.